We've all heard that expression, love is blind. It's one of the great, by the way, untruisms of human nature. Love isn't blind. Lust is blind. Lust is, when you were 17 years old in high school and this really cute girl was sitting next to you and you couldn't stop thinking about it. You just dreamed of asking her out and you finally got up the nerve and you did it and you thought this is paradise, and 6 months later you couldn't stand to look at her. You don't care what she looks like. Love is something very different. Judaism teaches that love is the emotion you get when you focus on the beauty, the positive in another individual, and identify them with that beauty. Okay? And love is definitely not blind. Love has a magnifying glass for the faults of the person that you actually love. For instance, your mother, she loves you, but she knows all of your faults. And we see that that's one of the unique aspects of the Bible. If we could say God is sort of like the ultimate Jewish mother. Okay, God loves us, but he's constantly criticizing us. In the Bible, brutal. And the point is obviously that God, when the Bible criticizes the Jewish people, it's that there's lessons we need to hear. It's sort of when your mother says to you when you really pushed her too far and she says, "You never listen to me." And you know you've sort of crossed a red line. But that's really the unique nature of how the Bible criticizes the Jewish people. Israel Zangwill, who was a British Zionist writer over 100 years ago, he said it best. He said either the author of the Bible is God or an anti-Semite, because Israel is the villain in her own story. And if you look at ancient literature, other ancient literature, and you look at the Bible, you see a huge contrast. In the list of Assyrian kings, their monarchies that go back in time to mythological ages, you see that the Assyrian kings come from gods and they live for thousands of years, and of course they're perfect. You look at Jewish kings. King David, he comes from very tainted lineage. A Moabite woman, converts. That's a great lesson, by the way. And that greatness is not, it's not a genetic trait necessarily. We have free will. We have potential. We can rise to it. But the real lesson of the Bible is there's no skeletons in the closet. Okay, in Judaism, the skeletons are pulled out of the closet. We put a spotlight on them. We put a loudspeaker, because the purpose of the book is to teach lessons. And if you want to whitewash the mistakes, then you won't learn the proper lessons. But the other side of that is, of course, to understand when we read the Bible, we have to understand that often these mistakes are greatly exaggerated. It's very clear from the Bible the only perfect being in the universe is God. But it would also be a huge mistake to look at some of the characters in the Bible and on a very simple, superficial reading of a story, come to conclusions like Joseph and his brothers. They're going to kill him because he's got a striped coat? Come on. This is not the ultimate story of sibling rivalry or jealousy over favoritism. There's much, much deeper things going on. Yes, there's an element of rivalry in there, but it's deeper. The brothers, for instance, recognized that they were family was supposed to create a team that was going to change the world. And Joseph seems like a megalomaniac. He's endangering the mission of the entire family. So there's deeper things going on. And to really learn the right lessons from the stories, we have to learn to read a little bit deeper into the texts and to read the traditional commentary and to understand that this is a book that is teaching us lessons.